Good morning, everyone across the world. Um, good morning, Africans across Africa and other Africans that are in many parts of the world. Some are in Europe, Asia, America, wherever you are. I greet you this morning. My name is Mr. Ncube, Mr. Nqobizwe Ncube, born in Zimbabwe in the year 1988. I am the founder and the CEO of The Rock Africa. The Rock Africa is an organization that I established in 2019. Okay, how The Rock Africa was formed on the 25th of September in the year 2019. I had a vision of uniting Africans, bringing Africans together, uniting them in business, to create an independent continent, to liberate Africa economically, because Africa is suffering. Africa has been suffering for a very long time, and us, this generation, we have to do something so that we change things. Things that have been spoken, but nothing really materialize to bringing Africa to a better standing economically. So there's a lot of poverty, sufferings, corruption in Africa. And in September 2019, I came up with a vision of uniting Africans, in business, bringing them together so that we can create this one economic empire called the Rock Africa. It's possible, it's doable, we can do this. So basically, within 4 days from the 25th of September, within 4 days, I created a WhatsApp group, right, on the 25th of September, because in the morning when I woke up, I just started speaking, going around in my workplace where I was working, telling my superiors, some are white people. Let me just say all of them were white people who were my superiors, but there were some people who were my juniors in terms of position. Also, I had to engage with them, mostly the blacks, So I engaged with my superiors and my juniors. I said, guys, we need to work together, because I was foreseeing what was coming ahead. I could tell what was coming, that Africa is going to face a lot of hardships, especially the unemployment rate going higher and higher, because I had seen this in a vision. So the solution to all these problems, I got it in a vision. That's why 4 days from the 25th of September, we were sitting at a WhatsApp group of, the WhatsApp group was full. I think it was 275 people, yeah. And everyone who was in the group was saying, that's a brilliant idea, that's a good idea, let's do it, we can do this, So I was trying to tell the people that it's not all about saying we can do it, it's a good idea, speaking, not acting. No, it's all about acting. If you see that this is a good idea and you want to support that vision, you must act, do something towards the accomplishment or the fulfillment of that vision, materialization of the vision. So, basically, the Rock Africa is an organization that I established. I'm the founder of it. I'm also this current CEO. With time, CEOs will change, but my position as the founder will never change. I will always be the founder. Whether CEOs come, CEOs go, but So, what I want people to understand is there will never be a solution to African problems unless and until we come together as Africans, unite in business, work together, not individually but as a team, to achieve a continental goal of stabilizing the economy and at the same time okay, wait, sorry about that. I have to do this. I have to do something, right? Okay, so basically what I was saying, guys, is if you check currently where we are sitting, I'm in South Africa, Johannesburg, you know. I will talk of the things that are happening in Johannesburg, South Africa, because I am in Johannesburg, South Africa. But one thing I can assure you, the problems that are faced now in Johannesburg, South Africa, already many other countries in Africa have experienced them. So it might be the first time for South Africa to experience this, but definitely it's not for the first time. Some Africans, even those who are in South Africa coming from other countries, it's not for the first time they're experiencing this. So the reason why we learn history, the main reason why we learn history, we don't learn history to pass, to graduate so that we can look for a job or a career. No, the main purpose of learning history is to avoid the mistakes that were done in the past, and you know, we learn history to avoid repeating the same mistakes that were done in the past. At the same time, we're passing down the knowledge from generation to generation. So that knowledge that is being passed down is historic form of historic knowledge, historic evidence. You know, it can be a physical evidence, archaeology. It can be written evidence, written records. It can be oral evidence. We know history. With time, as years go by, you know, this oral history, which is passed down from generation, along the way it gets distorted. Yeah, some people will change it to suit their narrative. Some people will forget the real story and narrate a wrong story to the next generation. So, but the main reason why are we learning about things that happened in the past, so that whatever mistakes that were done in the past, we avoid repeating the same mistakes. So, but the problem in Africa is we were programmed to learn history for a purpose of passing at school, graduating, finding a career that is in line with the history subjects. You embark in those courses or whatever, the career, you follow the career, build a career up in that field. Once you pass it, you go and look for a job. You know, some people who pass history, they tend to become lawyers. Yeah. But you find that after they've passed the history so much, the history that was taught from generation to generation, it actually got to them. They studied it and they passed it. But their own children fail history. Them as lawyers, qualified lawyers, passed the history, but their children fail history. Then the parents will just advise them, shift the subject, get another better subject that you understand so that you can prepare for your career, you know. So what Africans we are more concerned about is study to pass so that you can get a job. Study to pass so that you can start building up your career in a certain field. So imagine you are a lawyer, you passed history, you know a lot about what happened in the past. Then your children, they fail history, and you are not concerned about that. As long as they passed biology and other things, they got to be doctors. And in their doctor's field, medical field, they have nothing to do maybe with the history subject. They don't even care to know what happened. Their children fail the biological subjects, sciences, they fail them. So their children, which are your children's children, they study accounting. They venture into accounting field. So now you understand that there is no passing down of historical information like it used to be long time ago. Right. The reason why I'm explaining more on history, I want you to understand where we stand now as Africans, that most Africans don't know their history. That's number one. And some people who know history, they know distorted history. Number two. That has made us to build a culture of turning into a survival mode. You will understand this as time goes. You know, we are alive. I told somebody, I said, some of us will live long in this world because we are born for a purpose. When we speak like this, when we tell the people, nobody listens, because what we are talking is supposed to help them. So people are no longer interested in being told or taught about something. People are now interested in what am I going to eat today? How am I going to survive tomorrow? What am I going to leave my kids with? How are my kids going to survive? You know, we are in a survival mode. And this is a dangerous zone which we must quickly unplug ourselves from. But unfortunately, the leaders in Africa, presidents, political leaders, those people are not concerned about sensing the mode in which people are, because all what they care about as leaders now is, will I make it to the next term in the voting process? Will I be re-elected? Will I keep my job? I told you, it's all about keeping a job. It's all about securing a job in Africa. It's no longer about leadership. It's no longer about good ethics. It's no longer about Ubuntu. Humanity. I'm telling you, we have lost that humanity aspect of us. We have thrown it to the dustbin, and we have picked a barbaric nature. That is why I want people to understand the Rock Africa. You can debate with me, you can disagree with me. Let's check down the line. Let's check down the line. This is year 2022. Okay, let me, for the record, this is year 2022, the 7th of September. All right, I'm in Johannesburg. I will keep this video. Check 10 years down the line, that is 2032, 10 years out from today. You will understand what I am telling you. You will remember these words. You will remember these words, because Africans who have been switched from adopting the good ethics of humanity into diving into a survival mode, which is a very dangerous zone. If not quickly dissolved, we will pass this generation and the next generation into the same mode. And the danger about the survival mode is that it gets worse and worse day by day. It gets intense and intense day by day. And besides the survival mode, I wish people could know what I'm talking about. It creates corrupt activities, crime, immorality, and poverty. So, I had a vision in 2019 to build up the Rock Africa so that we can help Africa. So, basically, what I'm trying to tell you is from year 2019, I gave up my life for Africa. I gave up my life for Africa, meaning it's no longer about me. Be it making wealth, it's no longer about me. I no longer care about amassing wealth, building wealth for myself. Because this is what is currently happening in Africa. Should I get, let's say, a well-paying job, I celebrate. I don't care about my cousins. I don't care about my neighbors. You know, we no longer care about the people around us. The more I get more wealthier, and the more I get more money, the more I get more rich, I celebrate. I don't care what the next person is going through and what the next person is experiencing. So it's all about me, myself, and I. You see, whoever is looking for a job opportunity, if I can get a job today, a well-paying job, I'm sorted. I am sorted. Doesn't matter my neighbor, whether my neighbor they're suffering or what. A basic thing as food, you know, if I can get a meal myself, you know, breakfast, lunch, and supper for me and my family, sorted. It doesn't matter anymore. How about my neighbors? You know, when we were growing up, we used to have festive seasons like the Christmas. The Christmas, you know how we used to celebrate it. Besides our parents buying us Christmas clothes, you know, when we cook in our family, we didn't want to cook a meal that is only sufficient for me, my family, you know. No. You would cook a big pot, you know. Maybe let's say you cook rice, you cook maybe salads, you make salads and you cook. Forgive us, it's English anyway. It's not our mother language. We speak in English so that everyone can understand, but it's not our mother language. We mess it up here and there, but those who are listening to us will understand what we're saying. So you make salads, prepare some meat, you know, all these things. But you will find out that maybe you only focus on that field or on that area only. Maybe next door they make popcorns, muffins, scones, cakes, you know, juices, whatever. Maybe the other neighbor as well, they make a braai, or you know, all these things. But you will find out maybe when it's time to dish out the food, we take plates from the neighbor's place, we bring them this side, we dish for them, or we take our plates, we dish for them, we take plates there. They also bring dishes of popcorns, dishes of biscuits, you know, juices, you know. Not that we don't have it, but there was that, you know, there was that unity, there was that love, you know. If the neighbor runs out of mealie meal, what we used to do is you are cooking there, you are busy making a meat there, your soup and everything. The mealie meal is not enough to prepare the pap. Now what you do is you send the child to the neighbor. Go and tell the mother next door that I've run out of mealie meal. Please, can she fill this container with mealie meal for me? Whether they have enough for the week or for the month, it doesn't matter. You just go. They will fill it. They will bring it. You know. then you cook the meal. Not because maybe you don't have money, maybe you don't want to run to the stores at that time. You will go and buy later. You see? But there was that relationship. There was that relationship between the people. And maybe sometimes you just go and ask for mealie meal without a container, then they put the mealie meal in their own container. When the time comes for you to return the container, when the time comes to return the container, maybe you prepared something else for, African dishes, umxhanxa, where you just prepare the, I don't know what they call it in English, ijodo and igwadla. You mix it together, you boil it. When it's set, you put sugar, you put in that container, you take it there. It used to be nice. Even when your neighbor's child, you see that maybe the neighbor is not working, or the neighbor is struggling, maybe they don't have a school uniform, or they don't have shoes. It was not a problem for you to take one pair of shoes from your child to give, even if it's second-hand, to give. It was not a problem at all. That's how we grew up, But we were too blind to realize that the economy of the country that we were claiming to have repossessed from the colonizers, we were too blind to see that the economy was not in our hands. So the economy was still in the hands of the former colonizers. When I say the economy, I'm talking about the major pillars of the economy: the mining, the agriculture, the production, manufacturing, all these things. They were still under the control of the former colonizers. We might have been colonized by generations from decades ago, but their descendants handed over the world and the control that was possessed through colonization. So when we took over when we took over these countries, we thought we have obtained independence, and we were fooling ourselves, because there is a difference between independence and freedom. If you were oppressed and you are given freedom, we mistook freedom for independence. We were free, but we were not independent. Independence simply means not depending on, self-dependent. Independent means you are no longer depending on an external factor or external force. You are now depending on yourself. That is independent. You are self-dependent. So that is basically what caused us as Africans to end up in the situation in which we are today. But we can still escape. We can still come out. We have freedom. We are free to make ourselves independent. So basically, the Rock Africa is an organization that was formed to bring back the economic power control from the hands of the former colonizers into the hands of Africans. And when I say into the hands of Africans, I'm talking about anyone who is called an African. Because now we have got people who are white in color, Indians, colors, Chinese, who were born here. Maybe they've been born here. Their forefathers were our colonizers, but they gave birth to generation after generation in this place. So basically, we have got many races in Africa now, of people who were born in Africa, and they gave birth also to other generations. They know any other place except Africa. They were born here. The only place they know is Africa. Of course, their origin is not African, but their citizenship is African. So we don't want to separate people according to their races, to divide people according to their races, and we don't want to separate people according to their religious beliefs, because people believe in different things. And we don't want to separate people according to their political affiliation, because these three things, politics, religion, and race, they are the major factors that has disrupted Africa, that has brought Africa down to its knees. And they are the three major factors that are causing divisions in Africa. Amongst the blacks, what divides us as the blacks is politics, religion, and ethnic groups. When as a collective, as Africans, we are divided by politics, religion, and race. You are Indian, you are white, black, colored, all those things. So the Rock Africa wants to dissolve all those things, and there is only one way out. This I'm always telling people, there is only one way out. Right? So this way is called the Rock Africa. I know people don't know it because I'm not an influential person, number one. Number two, those who are influential, from the politicians, the celebrities, the church leaders, religious leaders, those people that are followed by large masses, because Africans, whenever they think there is a solution, they follow that person. If an individual comes up with a healing power, be it an African spiritual healing power, be it a Christian spiritual healing power, be it a Hindu, Muslim, Buddha, whatever, the sick people will flock in their large numbers to that person. So these religious leaders have got an influence of some sort. They've got a large number of followers. So all these people who are influential in the society, one thing that I've realized, they are also in the survival mode, and it is dangerous because they no longer care about somebody else. Even if they are offering you help, they offer you help in exchange for something that will make their lives better. Be it money, be it material stuff, be it skills. They can use your skills to advance their agenda. And you, because you are following them, because you're looking for a solution, you need help, you'll offer your skills and get nothing at the end of the day. So basically what I'm trying to show you is the Rock Africa was formed in 2019, September the 25th, for the purpose of bringing Africans together in business, right? So if you check in the year 2020, when COVID was hitting us left, right, and center, when you check that year 2020, I'm telling you, in South Africa, 510,000 new companies were registered. Why so many people registered companies? 510,000 new companies in 1 year were registered in 2020. Why? Because everyone is trying to find a way to run a business for himself and his family so that they can. So even the business field is now overflooded. Everyone wants to be a businessman, everyone. So because there are no jobs, the unemployment rate escalated, and it's ever escalating. Because if I can tell you that this is year 2022, in year 2021, come the end of the year, matriculants finished high school, college students finished college studies, graduated or something. We're talking about the engineers, the TVET colleges, and other private colleges, accountants, managers, all these things. Even the university, end of last year 2021, we have got a lot of university students who graduated, who finished university. All these people added to the number of the unemployed people. They are looking for jobs, and the unemployment rate is escalating here in South Africa, and there are no new jobs being created. So I'm just talking about 2021. Even in 2020, the same thing happened. Even in 2019, the same thing happened. Even this year, 2022, matriculants will finish high school. It's not all of them will go to university. What other people? We've got the college students are finishing also their college studies, and we've got the new batch coming in. So each and every year we've got new people coming in to do metric, and others finishing their metric studies, college students, university students, and the retrenched people also are looking for jobs. So you see what I'm talking about. So now it's the survival of the fittest, survival of the well-connected people. So if you are well connected, listen to me, you can make a living. You are not coming out of poverty, you are making a living, because should that connection break, maybe let's say you have got a high profile person, maybe in politics, who is in charge of giving out contracts in that department, then they know you, they can give you those contracts because they know you, that's part of corruption, yes, but that's what is happening. So should they give you that contract, what will happen if that person is fired at work for being corrupt? So which means your contracts also will be stopped, you're going back to poverty. So it's like all of us, we are pulling this one string, this side they want this side they want to be the ones who take the string, and this side they want to be the ones who take the string. At the end the string will break, you see. So then I decided to build the Rock Africa. So how does the Rock Africa work, and how will it help Africans? For you to lead, to be a leader, you must be selfless. Don't think about yourself first before other people. So basically, as if you are a leader, you must put other people first before you. Put other people first before you. What am I trying to say? A good leader is the one who makes sure that the people that he is leading, they are sorted first before sorting himself. So the Rock Africa is an organization that I started because I realized that we don't have that leader in Africa. And if we keep on talking about leaders are not selfless, they are selfish, we will talk until we get old, and until we die, and until our children also face the same sufferings. So I said, let me volunteer and become that leader. So what does that mean? It means for the rest of my life from 2019, I give my life to lead Africans who are willing to come out of poverty. So how do we do it? I remember years back I said a statement. I said, this generation will liberate Africa economically, but we are not going to use guns. It's not a fight, a struggle that requires guns. No, this time we're going to use our brains. We are very smart. We are a very smart generation. In this world, there is no one who can outsmart us. But the problem is that amongst ourselves, we have got people who are greedy and selfish. You see, the moment we try to take people out of poverty, then we have got other people who say, but if these people become free and they are out of poverty, when I'm asking them now to vote for me, to be in power, what will I use? I must use something like, this this poverty. If you wanted to stop, vote for me. I'll end this poverty. I'll create jobs for you. You know, these things have been said by many leaders year after year, and nothing is happening. So it's politics. It's politics. So there are some politicians who don't want people to come out of poverty, without realizing that for you to be a leader, you don't need to be a politician. And for you to help the people, you don't need to be a politician. And for the people to vote for you, and for the people to want you to be their leader, you must prove to them before they vote for you. Don't say, vote for me, I'll create jobs for you. Create jobs for the people. Then let people vote for you because you have created jobs for them. How about we do that in Africa? Let's do that, because we can do that. So basically what I did now is I said, well, it's possible, it's doable. So what we can do now is simple. Let's start uniting Africans in business. Meaning, we know that there are many companies registered, and most of them are not running. You know, they are just certificates at home, and people are still dying in poverty. So it's simple, guys. Anyone who is willing, wants to be a shareholder of the Rock Africa, come join us. Let's build this one company as a whole. All of us, let's build one company. Let's not build many companies for selfish reasons. Let's build one company. And this one company, this is how it will function. In South Africa, we're sitting with a number of people, 65 million estimated. And that 65 million estimated, more than half of the working, of those people are unemployed. I can't remember very well how many percent, whether it's 65% of the employable people are unemployed, or it's even more than that now, because it's escalating day in, day out. So basically what I'm trying to say is, we've got a high number of unemployed people, and those people every day they wake up to try and look for employment. They type CVs, they market themselves, go left, right, center, internet, this and that. Instead, the money that they are using to type CVs again and again, that money is not coming back. They are not investing that money, they are spending it. If they go to the buy internet the data, they start Googling, sending CVs, Googling for jobs, applying online, and not being employed. No. At the end of the day, you find out that you can spend 1,000 rands, 500 rands trying to look for employment a month and still not get that employment. So I said to the people, every individual that I've asked since 2019 in South Africa, every individual that I've asked with my mouth, can you fail to invest 100 rand a month towards building businesses and towards building your own shares in an organization? Can you fail to invest 100 rands? Not even one person has said, I can't. Not even one. Everyone says, yes, I can. But look, 65 million people, if today we all can come together and say, let's put 100 rands on the table, we'll raise 6.5 billion. So if we invest 100 rand a month, which means every month a minimum of, because we say 100 rand or more. So if you put 100 rand, all of us, a minimum of 6.5 billion rands, we can put together every month. So imagine every month you putting 6.5 billion on the table as a team, to just specifically for creating jobs. So the major problem is that people don't have capital. People don't have capital to start businesses. Even if you start business as an individual, which is only to benefit you and your family, you are actually not helping the situation, because if the majority is still in poverty, and you alone, you have a business that is running, so you will capitalize on the poverty of the people for you to make wealth, So at the end of the day, it will not help Africa. The economy will still go down with you and your business running. The economy will go down. So basically what I'm trying to show you guys is we have got 65 million people, right? If we can say 6.5 billion times 12 months, right? We will be raising 78 billion, not from the bank, not from the government, no, from our pockets. You see, a lot of people, they waste money going to super bet, sports betting, trying to chase that million lotto, Powerball, trying to chase that million. They end up spending more than 500, more than 1,000 towards betting in a month. Some they spend more than that. Some they can spend up to 10,000 rands. So imagine 78 billion we can raise minimum, because some people say, me, I've got 1,000 every month I can invest. So you see why we put it at 100 rand, so that everyone can afford and have a share in this business. We don't want anyone to be left out. We want, when we are sharing the profit at the end of the financial year, let everyone who is in the Rock Africa get a share. So any African who is willing will have a share of the profits of the Rock Africa. So imagine we have this 78 billion in a year. We start in South Africa. We open supermarkets, factories, we open farms, we open mines, we open retail stores, we open a lot of businesses across South Africa in every province. We become the major investor. Who are the major investors? The people who are buying. You understand? So if, let's say, we open a supermarket in every province, 9 provinces of South Africa, every corner we open a supermarket, in locations, in town, everywhere. And everyone who is buying in that supermarket has got a right to invest and have a share of that profit that is being made in the supermarket. Where do you think people will buy? Where do you think people will buy their groceries every month? Obviously, where they will have a profit share. That's obvious. So imagine if everyone in the country is buying from the Rock Africa supermarkets, because they know that they've got a share there. And the more we open these supermarkets across South Africa, we create jobs for the people. Not only we will focus on the supermarkets, we also have farming projects, chickens, cattle, we've got pork, we've got, eggs, we've got vegetables, we've got grain, from wheat, barley, soya, maize, all these things. We're producing them. We open our own millers, our own silos. So basically the economy of the country will stabilize. The currency value of the country will become strong. And the jobs and employment will be created. And we will end poverty. So basically what I'm trying to say is, we will make a lot of money. We will produce more than what we need. We will produce surplus to an extent that we export surplus. So that's the vision of the Rock Africa basically. So what I want you to understand is, if we manage to stabilize South Africa, then we can move from South Africa to the next country, which means the businesses and everything that will be running here, and the employees and everything, will remain here. So we then open the Rock Africa, maybe Zimbabwe. The Rock Africa Zimbabwe, we invite Zimbabwe. Already the people that have invested in South Africa, they are shareholders of the Rock Africa. When we go to, because we're saying it's open to all Africans, maybe by the time we invest here in South Africa, even other countries, they'll be attracted and they'll start sending their money and also investing here. So the time we move to Zimbabwe, maybe already we have got a large number of Zimbabweans who are already shareholders, or they will see what we have done in South Africa and they'll also jump in. Remember, in Zimbabwe, they took the land from the former colonizers. So the land is available to be utilized, but no one is utilizing it to max. Only few people might think it, and for selfish. So imagine we get there with all the times as the we there, we open malls, Zimbabwe, control like the economy of Zimbabwe. We move, we go to Zambia is called copper, have the end of the Rock Africa, which is owned by who? By the people. When investing, the more you invest, basically what two people to Rock Africa, which means those 50% shares. 50% shares in the company. So if this one invests 300 and this one invests 100, which means this one owns 75% shares and this one owns 25% shares. So it's all about how much you have invested towards the capital. If we give you a job and you still want to invest more from your salary, keep on investing so that you get a bigger share. That's how the Rock Africa vision is. So I will keep on making more videos, because for now I can assure you that we are trying our level best. We have okay, sorry about that. We are starting a farming project in Walkerville here in Johannesburg. So we want to produce eggs as our first stepping stone. Already we have a private security company that is ready and waiting for what? To get contracts. When we get contracts and we make money from it, the money we make from the private security company, we invest it into the farming projects. We invest it. Already we are in talks with another owner of a supermarket that we want to take over. Should he give us that chance, we invest in that supermarket as well. So the Rock Africa is supposed to be self-funding, but because of the slow growth and the slow exposure, at the end of the day we become stranded along the way. Some people, when they invest, and they become skeptical along the way of investing, because there's too much corruption and crime that happening in South Africa and across the entire Africa. So as I'm talking to you, we're supposed to be running a security company, but because of corrupt activities, criminal activities that are happening, there are some things that are hindering us, because if we want to operate also unlawfully and also bypass the regulations, we can also be in business, but we want to be operating legally. So at the end of the day, we will find ourselves promoting crime and corruption for us to make money, which is not what we stand for. So we want to create a clean business and teach others that we can actually make it without being corrupt and without being involved in criminal activities. And the painful thing is that those people who flood the market will operate unorthodoxly. They make money for selfish reasons, and the law enforcement and the regulatory boards, they don't care about such things. They're supposed to be arresting those people, supposed to be penalizing those people, supposed to be catching those people, but they don't do that, which is also part of criminal elements and corrupt elements within the law enforcement and the regulatory boards. So at the end of the day, you seem to be fighting a lonely battle. You are fighting a battle, but those that are supposed to support you, they are actually laughing at you, to say, look at this one, he's trying to do things straight and right. At the end of the day, this guy, he won't make it. The world is now corrupt. How can you operate uncorruptly? So that's the main challenge. So, but then we do need help. We do need help, because now for people to invest, we don't have a running project now. So to convince people to invest where there is no running project, in projects that are still standing, that are still waiting to start operating, people become skeptical. A lot of things have happened. Companies have come here from China, from other continents, from other countries. They come here, they do network marketing, they promise people big things. People invest in pyramid schemes, people invest in Ponzi schemes, people invest in a lot of things. At the end of the day, people get defrauded of their monies. Or if you are not defrauded of their monies, they will sell you their products and leave you with their products, and your money is gone. You don't make it in life, all the heaven that they were promising you won't see it. So people are now skeptical of just investing money, So, but we don't give up. The Rock Africa will never die, and will never give up. We'll keep on pushing. Trust me. The Rock Africa will grow, and it will achieve its mandate, it will achieve its vision, it will achieve its purpose, because the one leading it is selfish and is determined to lead Africans out of poverty and bring about an independent African continent. So I know there are big countries, superpowers out there, people who when they hear this, they will not be happy. They will not be happy at all. So you might find maybe those people, they are influential people. They might bribe other people who are locally with us, just to give us trouble, to make our lives hard, so that we don't push forward. Those things, they happen. So what I can assure people is, no matter what happens, the Rock Africa will not die. I am not the Rock Africa. I'm just the founder. The Rock Africa is the people. We've got a few people that are already in now. We've got few people that I'm working with. And these few people, once we start commencing in business and making profits, I will appoint them as leaders provincially, nationally, and continentally. So basically, that's what the Rock Africa is all about. And I call upon all the people. In Africa. Pay attention to the Rock Africa. Feel free to contact me. You can email info@therockafrica.com, or you can call me on +27 or 78 +2778 268 9313 +2778 268 9313 +27268. What am I saying? It's a +27 78 268 9313 +27 78 268 9313. You can WhatsApp that number, you can call that number. And again, you can call +27 10 214 0282. You can call that number as well. You can SMS that number as well, or you can email therockafrica2019@gmail.com. So basically, Africans, listen, there will never be any change if we don't come together and work together. It's no longer about us to prepare a stable Africa for our children and our children's children. Yes, we will benefit from it, but we want to see our children and our children's children not experiencing the hardships that we are experiencing, not drowning in poverty. We want them to find an independent Africa with a concept of unity and working together. so that we will also tell them that you must learn these things. I think I must also put these things in written form, so that these books will be passed from generation to generation, so that they will learn and learn. Because it's not all about going to school to study for you to get a job. We go to school to get knowledge. When you go to school and you acquire the knowledge, you are set. Then now what's next? Build Africa. You have the knowledge. Knowledge is in you. You don't need to, when the knowledge is already in you, you need nothing else other than building up the continent, building up the nations, building up Africa. The more we work together in the Rock Africa, we then create an environment where to work, to be employed, it will be a choice, because the jobs will be all over. Everyone will be having an opportunity to work. Now when you go to study, okay guys, me, what I want to study to know how to operate a grinding mill to produce milli-meal. Go to a class, they teach you how to operate a grinding mill, to produce a samp, to produce milli-meal, Then once you graduate there, you venture into that field, you become a pro into that field, you produce milli-meal. You understand? So there will be no hunger in Africa. You learn how to go, and you go to the school to learn how to do farming. Specifically, you want to farm soya beans. Know which season is conducive for you to farm soya beans. Know what type of soil is conducive for the best production, the weather. Be an expert in farming soya. Then we have another group, experts. You go to school to study to be a cattle farmer. Meat for meat purposes, beef, or for milk purposes, dairy cows. Those are the types of studies. You go to your school, you learn whatever you learn, high school, primary school, you pass. The next step from there, you learn to be productive. Right? Then we will have those other people say, no, me, I don't want to be involved in farming or in something else. I want specifically to be in charge of financial management. You do your accounting, you do your auditing, you do everything. We need such people also in the Rock Africa. Now you understand that when you finish school, you know what you are studying for, and you know which company will hire you. It's not like you will say, I'll go and apply, maybe I'll work for that. Already there is a company. You see, already there is a company. You know which company you will work for. And you know which sector or which department you want to venture into, or you want to work in. You see. So that's what I want us to understand, that there is no any other way to serve Africa other than the Rock Africa concept, or other than uniting and working together. Somebody said to me one day, what if they steal your idea? I said, that is selfishness, number one. There is no way you can lead the Rock Africa if you are selfish. So if they can steal the idea, but because they are selfish, they will fail to run it. It's impossible to run the Rock Africa if you are selfish. I said, but if somebody is selfless and takes my idea and champions it, and it becomes a success, I'll be happy, because Africa will become independent. The goal here is not me, the goal is to serve Africa. So Africans, listen to me. I know you might be outside Africa, you might be in Africa, but let's work together to build Africa. It cannot take us more than 10 years. If all of us can jump in now, it cannot take us 10 years to stabilize the entire Africa. No, No. Some of us, our day-to-day job is the Rock Africa. We sleep to rest, but when we wake up in the morning, we wake up to make sure that the Rock Africa moves forward. So imagine if people chips in, 65 million people in South Africa, they put 100 rands. What is 100? 100 rands is nothing, guys. Even if you are scared that you will be scammed, if you are scammed 100 rands, you will stop investing and say, we invested, but seems like it's not happening, you know. You see the computer behind me and all the office equipment in this office. It's existing, even the office is there because there are people who have invested, you see. It's not like we are scamming people. We want people to put their monies, we want to use them for our selfish reasons, or we want to run away. No, there is nowhere I'm going. There is nowhere I'm going. I will always be available for the rest of my life. So here is a concept, here is an opportunity for Africans to change Africa. I call upon all Africans to come into the Rock Africa. Starting in South Africa, we will invest, spreading throughout the continent of Africa. So basically, if we manage to bring in 65 million people in South Africa I know that we are more than that, but according to Stats SA, if we manage to bring 65 million estimated by Stats SA, every month they put 100 rand minimum, we'll raise a minimum of 6.5 billion every month. We start opening businesses, we start opening manufacturing, retail, we start opening different businesses and agricultural projects. We create jobs. Imagine if we can raise a minimum of 6.5 billion in 9 months. So which means this it will be good capital this month for Gauteng province. So the first month, the 6.5 billion will be allocated, minimum 6.5 billion, maximum we don't know how much we will raise, will be allocated to Gauteng specifically for opening businesses and employing people and being productive and turning people into being investors and instilling the investor mindset into the minds of Africans. The following month, the minimum of 6.5 billion will move to the next province. It can be KZN, it can be Western Cape, it can be Limpopo, it can be, Free State. But what is important is month to month will be establishing businesses using that minimum 6.5 billion. After 9 months, 9 provinces are covered. We monitor these businesses. If there is still need for further injection of capital and establishing more businesses, we make the second round. But the profits that are being made in that cycle of investment, 50% of the profit will be given to the shareholders for consumption, personal consumption at the end of the financial year. 50% will be re-injected back into the individual capital investment accounts within the Rock Africa for each individual member. So instance, if you are owning 50% shares, let's say we are 2 people, this one is owning 50% and this one is owning 50%, we make 1 million profit. So we split that 1 million profit into 500,000 rands. The first 500,000, we split it into 2, 50-50. We re-inject it back as capital. The second 500, we split it into 2, 50-50 for personal consumption. So whenever there is profit, half of the profit will be re-injected and the other profit will be consumed by the investors for personal consumption. Remember, these people will be employed as well, will be working, will be getting a salary. So there is no need for you to even eat that profit. If you are getting a salary, take that profit, reinvest, you get a bigger share next time. You understand? And the more you reinvest, we open more businesses, we spread to other countries. So maybe we can have 2 cycles. And when we see that these businesses are making money, we can now take the next cycle or the 3rd cycle to another country. Maybe you find maybe in other countries the provinces are not even as many as 9. Maybe it's 5 provinces. We put 5 provinces. The first 6.5 billion rands minimum on each province per month, and then the second round again. And like in Zimbabwe, the major projects that we're gonna start with is farming, because there is ample land there, and they are looking for investors. And if we go there as investors, we will control the economy. And it's good because it will be controlled by the Africans, including Zimbabweans. Now you understand the concept. Then we can move to other countries. We move to Zambia. There are a lot of copper mines there. We open copper mines, we open gold mines, Now we can go to Congo, we go to Tanzania, we go to Malawi, Mozambique, we go to many countries, we establish businesses. At the end of the day, we'll be in every country in Africa, and there'll be projects running there, and there'll be national leadership, provincial leadership, local leadership, and there'll be a continental leadership. And all the governments in all countries, we need them to help us, to put government auditors to be auditing nationally for free, auditing the Rock Africa nationally. And also we need the other law enforcement agencies that will be investigating corrupt activities and criminal activities, also to work with us. So you see, this is a big project, but then it's unfortunate that when you approach politicians, presidents, trying to talk to them on this concept, they turn a blind eye. So I'm calling Africans now, we can do this. Let's start as few as we are. The Rock Africa is a real company. The Rock Africa is led by a selfless leader, who is me, Mr. Ncube, born in Zimbabwe in 1988, July. I'm 34 years old now. But you see, if we don't act, I'll end up reaching 40 still preaching the same thing. End up reaching 50 still preaching the same thing. End up reaching 60, end up reaching 100 still preaching without action. At the end of the day, we live these. Somebody, when I said I'll reach 100 years, you know what somebody said? Unless if it is the will of God, if God wants to take me anytime, He can take me. But if it is not in the will of God, I'll reach 100, because high risk behaviors, they also contribute to people ending up losing their lives. You cannot be a criminal, armed criminal, going around robbing people, being chased by police, shooting at the police, being shot by the police, and expect that my life will be long. No, what if you get shot in the line? You see, that's the type of thing. So I am trying by all means, good people, that I try by all means to live a sober life, not a high risk life. Whatever that I know that this can bring harm to me, I try by all means not to involve myself in it. Just wake up, bath, come to the office, work, knock off, go home, watch TV, watch news, watch a movie, eat. Sometimes life can give you stress, but when it gives you stress, don't stress forever. It can stress you now, but always have a mentality of saying, This stress is part of the journey that I'm going, and I must not allow it in me. I must avoid it. There are a lot of stressful things, especially when you want something and life doesn't give you that something, it gives you another thing which is the opposite of what you want. Stress comes. Oh, I wanted this, but I can't get it. So we must learn to say, whatever I managed to get, I accept it. What I did not manage to get, well, I did not, and it's not the end of life. We push on, we keep on moving forward. Like me, I'm leading the Rock Africa. Sometimes there is no money to pay rent, sometimes there is no money to pay bills. People did not invest, there is no cash in the working capital. You ask people that that have money, please help me, cushion us here. They look at you, but we are leading the Rock Africa, the whole CEO. One of my friends said to me, when I said, please help me with 20 rands, I want to buy a plate of food. I'm hungry. I didn't eat anything yet since I woke up. Because the money that I had invested in the Rock Africa so that we keep on pushing. Every cent that I get, most of the times I inject in the Rock Africa. So this, this friend of mine said to me, no, I can't give you that money. I said, why? He said, the whole CEO of a company asking for 20 rands. No, man, I can't give you that. So maybe to them, they think, this guy is just mocking us. He has got money. When they come, they see the office computers, office furniture. They say, this guy is playing with our minds. He has got money. He's just testing us. But at that time, I would be real, for real. I would be needing help. So, team, listen, Africans, my team that I'm currently working with and the other Africans, if we don't work together to save money and invest and build businesses, we will regret. There is no magic that will solve African problems. Thank you so much for listening to me. If I get another opportunity to record such a video, I will do so. But I was feeling like, let me take this message out to the people and let people hear and let them decide. If you see this video, please share it with anyone that you know. Share it. If you see this video on YouTube, subscribe, and also hit that bell so that whenever I record the next video, you get the notification. And listen, if you want to come and meet me and have a discussion with me, put your inputs, because I know there's a lot of things that are known by other people which I don't know, and there's a lot of things that are known by me that you might not know. So we must work intertwine, and we must work hand in glove as Africans for us to bring about a solution which is a solid solution. I need you, you need me. So if you see this video and you feel like you want to sit down with me and you want to discuss with me, we can have a video again, a discussion video, and also upload it on social media, YouTube and other platforms, for people to hear our ideas. As young people, we can turn things around. We can turn this Africa around. We can change things. The power is in our hands and in our minds. We can do this. But if we are not willing to be led by a selfless person like me, there are many leaders out there who are selfish, who don't care whether you eat, who don't care whether you have a place to sleep, who don't care how you are surviving day to day, but they will keep on promising you, we are trying, we will do our best, give us another chance, all these things. Some of them, most of them are political leaders. Some are religious leaders. Yeah, there is politics also in religion. As time goes, you will know it. It doesn't matter which you belong to, because look at ourselves. Most of these religions that we follow, they were brought to Africa. They were brought to Africa from outside. I'm not saying it's wrong to be a Christian. I'm not saying it's wrong to be a Muslim. I'm not saying it's wrong to be a Buddhist. I'm not saying it's wrong. But what I'm saying is, what is wrong is to lack love. Doesn't matter which religion you belong to. Whatever religion you are, but you don't have love in you, then you are wrong. I'm a Christian myself. I believe in Jesus. But it doesn't mean that the whole world will believe in Jesus. Doesn't mean so. So I must know and understand I'm on my side. I can keep on preaching about Jesus, and I will keep on telling people about Jesus on my side. But it doesn't mean everyone will believe it and will give their lives to become Christians and live a life according to Christian standards. It's not everyone who will come in, but despite other people joining other religions, I must have love for everyone and try by all means to be at peace with everyone. Let us stop this culture of saying, so and so is suffering, let us donate to charity. Yes, you donate to charity today, how about tomorrow? So will we always donate to charity for the rest of our lives? We see someone suffering, we put together little grocery, little food, we go there, we are good people. Here is until when shall we do this? We are good at opening, what do they call them? Foundations. The Rock Africa Foundation. I'm about to open the Rock Africa Foundation, but the Rock Africa Foundation specifically, its main mandate is to promote sportsmanship in Africa. That is its main mandate, from grassroots, from primary schools, secondary schools, even to adults. Different sporting activities, extra co-curricular activities. That's the main. I'm not saying that's the only. I'm saying that's the main objective of the foundation that I will open. Right? Not to open a foundation or a non-profit organization that will, its job is to help the poor, give them meal for tonight, or we've got cooked meals, we're going to the poor, here is a plate. What about tomorrow if I don't come with a plate? How will they survive? Or what about if I'm not existing anymore in this world? How will they survive? So we must stop a culture of trying to have short-term solutions. No, there is no time to waste anymore. We must build a long-lasting solution that we will live as a legacy to the future generations. Your children and my children, they must know each other. And where will they meet? In the Rock Africa. They must do business together. They must have a culture of investing. They must turn Africa around. A united people will never break. United we stand, divided we fall. We have been preaching this from years ago. United we stand, divided we fall. But we divide ourselves. We are hypocrites. Too much hypocrisy. But listen, this generation, our generation, we can do it. We only need people who are willing to be part of the solution. I remember some years back I was crying a lot, saying, looking at celebrities who are making millions of rands in South Africa. Living, the moment they start making money, they move out of locations. They move and go and stay in white people's suburbs. There's nothing wrong. They drive nice, luxurious cars. The people that they grew up with back there in location, they no longer care about them. I was not saying they must now start splitting the world, because we are in a survival mode. Ne? It's impossible to start sharing what you have with your neighbors, because we are under a survival mode. So what I was suggesting is, what if these celebrities, as many as they are, call a meeting and say, guys, we are making millions. Then they look at the history of other celebrities who were celebrities at some point, who were making millions at some point, and currently they are down, and learn from them. You see, when you learn from them, you will know that let's take these millions that we are making now and start building malls where we are coming from. Building malls, building businesses, building factories, owning these things. Then we help the people back where we're coming from. And even if whatever, maybe we are artists, maybe we are singers, maybe we are actors, all these things, at some point you won't be able to do them. You will be old. Or maybe you die, your children will not be in the same field. You must leave them something that will keep on generating money for years. That's all. I remember when I was growing up, my father, one day he took a box of matches. He took out one stick, gave to this other man, a very big man. He said, break this stick. The man broke the stick. He took 2 matchsticks. He said, break this. The man broke the stick. But this time, the effort that he put to break, it was different from the first time. It took a little bit more. Maybe it was about 20. He said break. So it took about some time. Then he took the whole remaining matchsticks, put them together. It was big like this. So he tried to break it. Nothing happened. He tried to break it. Nothing happened. Then my father said, you see, a united people, you will never break them. People who are united and working together, you will never defeat them. So I learned something from that. If you look at in South Africa, there is road accident fund. People are being given millions. When you hear their stories, I was drowning in poverty. I was hit by a car. I got certain millions from road accident fund. When you look at them, the time they are telling the story, I'm back to poverty, I have nothing. So why can't we take those lessons, rewind, learn from the history, and say, no, man, why can't we say everyone who gets a road accident fund, those millions, come and invest into the Rock Africa and become a major shareholder? Then we run those businesses and you will be a major shareholder. Even if you are not the major, maybe you will be one of the biggest shareholders there. We run these businesses. There are many. Billions are being distributed year to year on road accidents funds. And these monies are with the people. If you ask them, or if you learn and study them and get to know what they did with this money, you will discover that they started drinking alcohol. They started going clubbing, throwing money around, buying cars. The funny thing is, once you give an African 1 million, the first thing they think of, let me buy a house and let me buy a car. Then along the way, they become broke. They start by selling the car because they can't maintain the car. They can't pour fuel onto the car. They become broke. So they sell the car. At least I have a house to stay. As time goes on, they sell the house, thinking, let me sell the house and start a small business. Because the economy is collapsing. Or maybe even if it's not like that, you find maybe something comes up which will cause them to end up selling the house. Obviously, it's financial needs. At the end, you check their life in years to come. I used to have millions. I remember I was watching on YouTube. I blew it on YouTube. This guy says, way back then, before freedom came to South Africa, I was a boxer. I even went to do boxing overseas. I stayed there, stayed in England, I stayed in America. I had a lot of money. I remember those years, 56 million. I can't remember whether it's dollars or it's the rands. When you fast forward, check his life, he's down to nothing. So are we not learning something from them? Let's work together, guys. If we don't work together, we will regret in years to come. We will regret in years to come. Otherwise, we'll end up calling our former colonizers and begging them to recolonize us. Please, recolonize us again. Because things will be tough. Lawlessness will be very high. Crime will be very high. Immorality. People will end up being barbarians to the extent that people say it was better when we were under colonial rule. No. Why? Because people failed to plan. One day my father said, plans never fail, but people fail to plan. And as I'm growing up, I'm seeing exactly that. People are failing to plan, but there are no plans that are failing. So besides that, I want people to understand something as well. I want to close. I have to close. I want people to understand this thing as well. If it is wise to plan, that's another old man. The headmaster in my primary school, Mr. Njini, may his soul rest in peace. You know what he said? It is wise to plan. If your axe is blunt and you do not sharpen it, you will have to work harder and harder. So, at the end of the statement, he said, it is more sensible to sharpen it than to work hard. So let me close this video, guys. I hope people will see this video, and one day I hope to see you in the Rock Africa, and I hope to work with you. Doesn't matter whether you are white, black, Indian, colored, as long as you are African. Doesn't matter which religion you belong to, as long as you are African. It doesn't matter which political party you are affiliated to, as long as you are African. Let's work together. And if you come into the Rock Africa with the mind of sabotaging it and the mind of bringing it down, let me warn you, you will fail, because you are not fighting the Rock Africa, you are fighting the people. The Rock Africa is the people. The Rock Africa is the people, and it will exist until the end of time. It has got a solid foundation. So let's come in and work together. Let's put away our selfish behaviors, selfish characters, and adopt selfless and sober behaviors, and become one people and build Africa. Thank you so much. Hope to see you next time again.